Today I will help to chair this meeting for the SLA and update. And then, good morning, everyone. Welcome to HAR Scrum. Today is Friday, is the 16th of October. And then I think I'd like to start it with the campaigns first. Okay, first of all, for HAR2, inquiry optimization, I think I will go to Nadine.
Okay, thank you, Kak Cynthia. So the update is actually the A1 last inquiry conversion rate is 3.9%, and then the last request conversion rate is 15%, and the number of inquiry training session is 4. The number of the guest follow-ups is 2. I think it's updated already. And then the number of visit assistants is 2. Newest inquiry conversion rate is 6.16%, and newest request conversion rate is 50%. So yeah, basically, uh, there is not really significant improvement in this one. Uh,
Wait,
yeah,
Nadine, that's actually quite a lot of improvement. You went from 3.9% to 6%, right?
yes, sir, but not really a lot, I think.
No. I wouldn't discount that because the way that you should see it is this is a 50% improvement, right? So before you had 4, now you have 6. So that's almost 50% more than before. I would really think about what you believe is causing that raise. Because if you can do that again, right? You can go from 6% to 9,
Yeah.
and then 9% to, like, I don't know, 13%, and then 13% to, if you could keep that 50% growth, then you have something there. You have essentially fixed the problem. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah, got it, sir.
you're doing that is pushing it in the right direction. Um, and 50% growth is actually not bad. If you're able to do this each time, then you'll be up to SLA compliance within 3 more, um, 3 more visits, I guess, right? 3 more iterations. So this is actually a good sign.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, actually, looking forward for more improvement in this funnel, in this campaign. Uh, seeing all the activities that we do, like inquiry workshop and the follow-up best practice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we can reach more number than this. Higher than this. Okay, that's basically the update from me, Mrs. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Nadine. And then I think Andre asked to please attach the inquiry workshop here as well. I think you can attach the result here as the evidence of your improvement. Okay, and I think we'll move to the next topic. Okay, for the next one is for the let's see here. This is for the loyalty program. I think we got a decrease here for the newest one. So the latest one is we got the conversion rate is about uh, 38.4. And then we send the guest for goodbye message 130, and then guest reach out is 9, but the newest conversion rate is pretty much below, so pretty much done. It's 30%. So yeah, the problem is actually still the same because we have already the outreach, but even though not all of them, but they are not coming back. But I think I would like to do another pivots on this campaign in on this funnel. So yeah, so far maybe I will continue for the automated goodbye message or just how to engage with the guests more to make them leave review. I think that's for me. Any discussion for this campaign?
Yeah, sure. I'll chip in, Cynthia. Just the
Okay, sir.
same as what Nadine's experiencing so far with a growth, you're experiencing a decline, right? and that's actually really normal. It is never, how would I say? It was never. Well, let me actually try to figure out how much you declined by. So it's about a 30% decrease on the conversion rates for your side. I would try to figure out three things, right? What is it that you do that's positively moving the conversion rate up, right? Is it your timing? Is it your messaging? Is it who you are? Um, is it something related to the people that you're choosing to write to? So try to I would try to like this is an analysis, right? It breaks it down even further if you can be
Mhm.
very if you can be very insightful. Like what precisely is it that you're doing that is moving it up, and what is it that is not within your control? Um, I'll show you a few ideas that inspired me a little bit later in the discussion for ways that you can
Okay.
actually reach out and get higher engagements. And it has to do with messaging. That's probably one of your strongest controls in this situation. Okay, so Dean, the same I think applies in your particular case as well. You're experiencing a this is what I would call it's called a local trend. So it means that essentially from a short amount of time you're going up. That's what's called a local trend. It's happening like in a short amount of time. A general
Mm.
trend would mean you're able to keep it up each week, each month, each year. And in order to get a general trend where you're always going up, you really need to understand what is it that is actually working with your audience. What type of messaging is resonating with them? What type of timing works really well? So in Shende's case, you have the numbers here. If you want, you can enlist Vidi or Lilith or anybody else. I think that there's a new girl, Vera, also in the
Mhm.
BI team. Ask them to break this down for you. Ask them to like, hey, look, these are my scores. Why do you think that they are the way they are? And see if they can help you deconstruct this particular activity. Come to me too. Say, hey, look, numbers are not going up. What do you think is the issue? And then I think you'll be able to understand what it is you're doing that is impactful, and maybe what it is that is just a chance, and what it is maybe that doesn't make any impact at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yep. Thank you. Is I have a take note. I think we don't have any secretary. Nadine, would you please help me to be the secretary here? Okay, thank you, Nadine. So far as long as I got for the discussion, this is about the timing and messaging, and then for Jared, Jean will share with us on the discussion session, and also about what's actually working with audience, and then we could come to the BI team to help us to break down what is not working, why if it actually why if it's not working. That
Yep.
Nadine, thank you. And then we'll move to the case engagement for HAR. Oh yeah, I think speaking behalf of Andre, Andre is in not a good condition right now. He is pretty sick, so yeah, he can't attend this meeting. So yes, I will continue to this one. Okay, this one, last communication rate is 5 stars. Last check-in rate is 5 stars, and then guest morning message is 30. And then newest communication, I think still in the 5 star. In this campaign, we can what is that? Make it stable in the score. And okay, I think I'm not really sure about the 5 stars mean actually, but maybe okay, I would like to ask Andre more. And then do you have any comment on this, guys? Maybe to you, sir, and Nadine? No? Okay, then I think I will continue. Then we could keep this continue to community support. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure. This is hasn't been updated. Just maybe please mention Andre on the paper. What will he gonna do on this campaign in the next time? Okay, thank you, Nadine. And then I will move to the our card, and then I will just like ask about what is your fiction, and then how is the progress. Okay, since Andre is not here, I will go to Nadine. Nadine, what's on the inquiry classification using automated system? Do you have any fiction on that?
Thank you, Mrs. Chair. Actually, so far I have no friction. The discussion. It's only between me and product development actually, and we got so many insight based on the latest discussion we had. Like the inquiry classification will not classify the inquiries based on the kind of inquiry, which is whether they turn down, whether it's a no respond or not, but it will be classified based on the content of the inquiry, like no supply or anything else. We're actually working. Me and Fidi try to analyze to decide what are the classification would be in the future. Yeah, so that's basically the update. So far, no friction. Yeah, that's all, Mrs. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Nadine. Looking forward on that thing. I think you could directly continue to your simplified check-in arrangement.
Okay.
Do you have any fiction?
Yes. Basically, the concept is already done. I already arranged a meeting with some community member and also Andre uh, from HAR, and then yeah, we're actually waiting for the what is that, the new member of HR as well to join this campaign uh, soon. So it will be started if we have the new HR member to what is that, also uh, helping this campaign later. Basically, the concept and the flow will be is already been discussed. Just waiting for the execution, Kak Cynthia.
Okay, thank you, Nadine. And then I will move to mine. I think, yeah, I have a fiction on my things here, and I think I already mentioned it on the campaign before, and then I hope I could have another Jing could share the insight on the discussion management. So I think we will directly go to the discussion management. Okay, then Mrs. Secretary, would you please help to share your screen? Okay, I think it's still loading here. Okay, already. Okay, scroll it down again. Yep. Okay, since Andre's not here, I think we will go to Jing. So, to you, sir, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Cynthia. This is an idea that I just had actually last night as we were doing the BBE talk. So, once upon a time when I worked at Airbnb, this was a program that we had. It was actually pretty effective. What we did was we made gifts for people who had won hosting awards, right? So, the gift was actually really simple. It was just a picture frame that we bought at, I think it was at Ace Hardware, and what we made it special was we took the uh, picture of somebody and we drew an illustration with one of the graphic artists at Airbnb, and we created this frameable thing, and it works really well. People usually put it up because it's very personal. It isn't cheesy and made out of plastic that's painted in gold and looks kind of tacky. It's actually quite well done. And I was thinking, why can't we do this for maybe our guests, right? So we might be able to think of like, okay, all right, let's say guest anniversary, guest birthdays, whatever it might be. We could keep them in the loop by sending them a illustration. Now, currently we don't have an illustrator, but we have internship programs, right? So I was thinking maybe we could actually. I think there's a lot of people who can actually do this type of work, right? And perhaps people who would be interested in doing graphic work at Bukit Vista. So I'm experimenting with this idea of actually, I think we can just put it out of getting a graphic design artist to join us as an intern at the company. They would work inside the marketing team, and essentially they would start creating these illustrations for all our past guests. Um, you can be sure that if these are well done, most likely people would share this on Instagram and you would get the backlinks and stuff that you're looking for. So, at any rate, I think it's a good. It's once again, it's back to this idea of messaging. How do we make the messaging more personal? How do we make it more impactful? And I think something like this could really tip the scales. Okay, I'll pass it back to you guys and maybe let me know what you think. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I think I will start the discussion from me first. I think it will be a good idea, but my question here is, if is it for the past guests, first, how do we get like the information about their birthday and also yeah their personal information, and then if it's on the when they are staying, is it possible because they're used to say that this is my birthday or something, and then we can create it like because that's clear. But how do we know about the past guest birthday if we want to share it with the past guest? But for the I think the concept is the same with the goodbye message. So right now for the goodbye message postcard, but the difference is what it makes different is instead of putting the ghost sorry the host the guest picture, we just put the host avatar.
Oh yeah,
So yeah.
that's actually a pretty good idea too. The birthday part is a detail, Cynthia. I think the easiest thing you can probably keep track of is the guest anniversary. So when's the anniversary of their last trip to Bali? I think that's actually a pretty meaningful day. Like most people would probably be happy to remember that day. Yeah, it's generally a high point in their life. So you can probably start with that. But I'm thinking like, is there like think about it this way, Cynthia. Most guests, as they pass through our system, they are just lost afterwards, right? Like remember what we talked about yesterday at the data science conference. It was, I think they all agreed that the more data points you get on a particular person, the more powerful that data becomes, and it becomes easier. So imagine, let's say, instead of because what I'm seeing right now is happening is that guests are kind of like exhaust, right? They sort of come in and then they leave, and it's almost like, to use a crude analogy, it's almost like poop, right? So they come in as food and they exit as poop. And if we were better, we would be able to harvest that and use that as fertilizer, so to speak, right? So that we could then get a next batch of guests. So in sort of a social media analogy, it would be instead of letting your guests just leave, maybe retain them in an Instagram like gallery or an Instagram um, sort of, I don't know, pool, right? Or retain them on LinkedIn, reach out and connect with them on LinkedIn. Some way of just maybe keeping in sort of in contact, right? Because right now all guests that leave have no we don't have any guest database actually, and we need to have a guest database. That's something that's pretty important now. So my best suggestion is this: perhaps you can implement this to begin with just guest anniversaries. We know exactly when that is, and we have WhatsApp for most of our guests, right? So maybe just say, hey, by the way, I just want to say hi. And it could be in the very beginning, you can just set MVP. It could just be your avatar and just say, we're just celebrating your 1 year anniversary. You were here last year, and here's some pictures of Bali, right? Um, and yeah, I think if we do get good engagement on that, then um, then we can start like thinking about how we actually can create more engaging messages. This is not a end solution. This is just the beginning of a conversation with how we can personalize messages to get higher guest engagement. That's the theme of what we want. So this is an idea to support the theme. Yeah. Okay. Back to Shanti.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you, sir. And then regarding that discussion, actually, yes, it will be a great idea if we like kind of like personalize them with a picture of Bali and maybe yeah. The question right now is how do we know about the guest database, the personal information? Wait, how do we like just like jump into the guest to celebrate their coming to Bali, like searching on our WhatsApp contact, and then oh, this case is already past a year, and then could we just reach them again, and then yeah, send a picture of Bali, and then hi, do you miss Bali or something?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like that?
Kind of like that, actually, exactly like that. If you remember, Cynthia, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the WhatsApp groups have been segmented by dates, right? So we can just search for October 15th on the WhatsApp groups and see which groups have have gotten that, or which previous guests have gone inside these groups. So, or maybe you can even just do it through Gmail. Just go through the Gmail and see if there was any check-ins on October 15th, and just write back on Airbnb. Hey, I'm your host on Airbnb. I think can you do? Is it possible to do picture chat now, Nadine? Can you send pictures to a guest now in chat? Or not sure if Nadine's there. Like, is Airbnb chat now a little bit more like? Or actually, you know
Oh
what?
yeah, yeah, yeah. On Airbnb, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, we can send pictures.
then I think that could be probably a good way to go for it, right? Just keep the conversation
Mm-hmm.
in Airbnb. Just check who was checking in on October 16th last year, and just send them an illustration. You know what? Maybe just try that today. I mean, like, what harm would it do, right? Spend like 5 minutes and just send one and see if any guest actually responds. And if they do respond, then it's like, hey, this could be this could be a good way to then perhaps Cynthia to grow the Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who's in charge of
actually,
the Instagram right now. Is it Andre or Gani or
it's Gani, and actually, we have tried the Booking.com guest, but we're not sending any pictures. So we just like saying hi. It's been a year that your trip to Bali, and then they, oh yeah, they one of them replying and excited,
very good?
and then
That's good. If you get an engagement, Cynthia, that means you're onto something. It means that they care, right? So then you can think of, okay, what do you do now that you have their attention? Um, like what's the next thing? Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because we had discussed about that, and I think that was involved in loyalty. Um, if you want, Cynthia, if you get their attention, you can be, hey, by the way, we are looking to do more business because it's so quiet in Bali. Would you be happy to maybe just write a review on TripAdvisor or on this or wherever you need the review, right? For your loyalty program. If you get that engagement, you write back, then you can ask them for, hey, can you write a review on this? Here's the link. You could even like I said before, you could even say, hey, there's 3 types of reviews. Just copy and paste any of these 3 that you feel like is most representative of your trip. So it can save you some time, right? I think through
mm,
you could probably boost your numbers on the the engagement from. You don't need to just target current guests, Cynthia. You can target past guests as well, because all of that adds, as you know, it adds backlinks back to us from people's profiles. So all that is really good juice.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for the insight as well.
Sure.
So I think okay, I will go to Nadine. Nadine, since we are talking, this is more about the loyalty. Do you think it will help to increase the inquiry if we do the this part of thing?
Okay, Kak Cynthia, thank you. My suggestion is this, Kak Cynthia. Maybe we can try with the first method that, like Jing suggests you firstly, you can reach out the guest by the WhatsApp group, because on uh, Air Support One, for example, we name the group with the date of the stay, and then you can actually track the check-in date based on that, and then you can try. And then if the concern is about the, knowing the database, like the check-in date of the past guests, if it's already working, you can actually ask for help from product development, I guess, to enhance, like maybe making some notification on HR dashboard in bigger or something like that. And yeah, this is actually from my side. If you try to reach out the past guests, it's also possible to uh, uh, it's it making the engagement higher, right? And then it's possible as well if you talk about Bali with them right now, and then maybe they will ask like, how about I book to you for like next year now, like that. So it's possible to increase the inquiry. And as it's also make the cycle of the campaign and the funnel will be like, flow, what is that, yeah, lancar, from the loyalty to the inquiry to booking. It's make the cycle working again. So just try it, Kak Cynthia, to be implemented for your loyalty campaign. Yeah,
Very good.
that's all.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Nadine, for the insight as well. Yes, actually, hopefully, yes, because I think this idea will make us different as well from the other property management because they just manage the property, manage the guests, but they didn't give something personal like this usually to the guests. So I think it will be a great idea as well. Could make us different. Yeah, yes, sir.
If I may, I just want to reinforce what Nadine just said. Like, of course, Cynthia, any type of guest review or engagement will always improve the inquiry conversion rate. Anytime that you're able to, it's not just a funnel, but it's also a feedback cycle. Your involvement in getting guests to leave feedback automatically drives more brand awareness. More brand awareness drives more inquiries drive more. So it's sort of strange, but the bottom part of the funnel starts becoming the top part of the funnel as well. So that part is there. After Nadine, now slightly different topic, right? After Nadine just said what she said to me, that we can use visual chat, send photos. Nadine, do you want to try doing something like that for your side as well? Like right now, when guests ask us questions, we answer in text. Is it possible to answer in photos or pictures?
For what kind of questions, sir?
I don't know. Like, let's just say, for example, right? Like, guests are saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" Blah blah blah, and then you send back, "Hey, this is me," and you send just like maybe your greeting card and introduction card, right? I'm Nadine. I'll be looking after you today, and here's a card. This is who I am. This is my fun fact, right? Um, and you send it as a photo across. Oh, okay. Hi, Nadine. This becomes immediately very engaging, right? As opposed to like just a flat conversation. It's you're dealing with a person now. Okay, and so maybe
I
the thing
see.
is, hey, have you seen my? You're asking these questions. Great. Maybe like TikTok, right? You don't use text in TikTok. You just send messages of little sort of videos back and forth to each other. So, but what I'm suggesting is, would it be a good idea for inquiry conversion to start using the technology there? Like, just think of, how can I answer your question with a photo? How can I answer your question with like an image? How can I express myself through images? I think if you do that, you'll probably get a higher inquiry conversion rate. And you know what? The second thing is, you'll start a new thing that no other hosts are probably doing at the moment, which is, how can you speak through photos? Um, I don't know. Like you guys are way younger than I am, and perhaps this type of communication happens more frequently. Where I've seen people who like Eka, like there's no text at all. It's just, you send me a photo, I send you a photo back, you send me a sticker, I send you a sticker back, and the whole conversation, so to speak, happens with images. Now, this is just opening a broader topic, right? But but I think it's more engaging, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think?
Yes, yes, sir. I think yeah, it's a good idea to to open the conversation at the very first time. So yeah,
Okay,
it's it make it more like between me and the guests will be more engaged.
okay,
Yeah, but for the following up question for like the inquiry of the property, I think the it's not gonna be like in the photo because, or maybe most of the photo that's he needs for explanation about the property is already attached on the listing.
well, it could
So
be that.
maybe for the, yes, sir, sorry.
It could be that. It could be just like you said, if the photos are attached on the listing and they can't find it, screenshot it and just show them, like, hey, here's the photo. I found it on the listing. You're looking for this, right? Um, okay. The idea is there, Nadine. I'm just hoping to give you some inspiration so that you can maintain your numbers, right? Because it's ideas like that that really innovate hospitality. It's like it can become the new trend, right? But be the hero, give it a shot, see if it works, right? Just as a suggestion to get this started, perhaps create your own little intro card, right? Like yesterday when we were doing the webinar, every speaker has like a little intro card. This is who I am. This is where I studied. Whatever. It doesn't need to be academic, because it's more loose. So these are my favorite foods. This is who I am. This is my fun fact. And here's my avatar. And here's what I look like in real life, right? And try sending that as one of your first engagement responses, like, hey, this is who I am, and see if that helps. I'm very curious if people will, like, oh, okay, nice to meet you, Dean. Thank you for showing me who you look like, or how people will tend to react to that. You might get a discovery that could actually help improve your rates, just as an idea. Okay. Anyways, I'll go back to the chart.
Yes, thank you, sir. To respond on that things, but maybe we could do that on the outside of Airbnb, because if it's still inquiry, I'm not sure if we can share the picture.
Okay.
Okay. I think you can't share picture. No, there is not a picture. It's just a message. So if it's still inquiry in a Airbnb,
Okay.
the host can't send any picture.
I
Yeah.
see.
So maybe we could try it on another platform,
Oh,
like maybe Facebook or Instagram or something like that.
sure.
Okay, I think that's pretty much for this topic discussion. So for the I could say for the conclusion, it could be a great and a new idea for us, and then it could be really possibly to apply it on our daily routines, like especially to help for the loyalty and increasing the inquiry, and maybe it could be a gift to them as well, from us, from Bali, to the guests. So they will keep remember us. Like, and then they will be our repeated guests. That's the goal, right?
Mhm. Definitely.
Okay. Yes. And then okay, I think that's pretty much it for the discussion because let's see. I'd like to look on the Andre discussion, like how to act like we are an HAR, but make ourselves like an agent. Okay, what are an agent excellence? The guests will choose them every time they have a trip. Book one time of their whole trip in Bali or Jogja works by one person or company. Arranging the guest trip. In this case, we can try arranging their next stay after their stay with us. Okay. I think it's more kind of like to build a trust on us, on the HR team, to us, to the guest, like make the guest is looking for us, and then like okay, if I stay Bali, I will contact Andre in Bukit Vista because he is already excellence honoring and then already known
Mm,
on it. That the things that I got, but I think I will throw it to the floor. I will start it with Nadine. Nadine, based on the discussion that Andre put here, do you have any idea on what his purpose or what is he to put in this discussion?
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Chair. Basically, what's in my mind right now is experience is matter. Actually, experience matter. So if they had a great experience, stay with Bukit Vista, I think they're willing to go back to us. And basically, if we have a look on the BI campaign, there's actually we Joseph is running the travel agent sales campaign, right? And I'm thinking about if we, I think that campaign is actually increase this, the possibility of the purpose what Andres the Andres proposed, like the agent excellence. So imagine that if we can, like maybe working with all travel agent in Bali. So no matter which travel agent that the guest book, they will stay with Bukit Vista anyway. So property Bukit Vista property anyway. So yeah, that's actually the campaign is already support this on BI campaign. Yeah. But from HR side, what can we do is actually to make sure that the guest is had a great experience with us. So I think that's the strongest reason uh, that can get they what is it, yeah, take or consider to go back to stay with Bukit Vista, I think.
Ah,
And now just what is it, the task is how to measure that the experience is good, and what 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 kind of experience that can be improved, and yeah, what what activities that can increase the guest experience, and yeah, like that. So the task is actually there, Kak Cynthia, from what I thought. Thank you.
Interesting. Well, actually, I'm pretty much like I'm still blurry on this kind of discussion about what is actually Andre means by like an agent. Okay, but I think okay. I will postpone this to the next discussion. We will save this because Andre is not here, and then we could do this, and then okay, I will try to look for another discussion. This is from Charlene. Oh yeah, I already feel it. Charlene, it's already been discussed on the last HR scrum. There's also one answer there. Okay, so for this one, yeah, this one actually from me for the review SLA. So I have discussion with Andre to decrease the number of SLA from 50 to 35. Actually, the reason I have put it here, like the current stats is always in the rate of 30 something, and then need to improve step by step, like what is this, like what used have to happen usually, like from the 32% they just increase like 35%. So I think if we can achieve 35 with the best practice, we can again improve to higher conversion. And also, actually, somehow this is it might be tricky, and I do need support from the hosting. And then, yeah, it's pretty much. I'm not sure. I have put it here like uh, several weeks ago, so I'm pretty much forgot about it. But I'm thinking about it to decrease the SLA, but I think Andre hasn't had discussion with Mas Rizal since the last time I follow up to them. And then yeah, actually this is also for the achieve score for the reasonable achieve score for the SLA for the review. So yeah, that's actually on the plan right now, but there is no further discussion with Rizal because Rizal is the client and we are the server on this.
Mm.
So yep, I think I would like to wait for that thing. So okay,
Uh,
uh, yes, sir.
this discussion is exactly, you got it right. It's actually between you and Rizal, not really between you and Andre, right? So
Oh, okay.
I think if you want this to happen, just talk to Rizal about it. Yeah,
Oh, I
it's not an
see.
internal chapter discussion. It's a inter-chapter discussion. So Rizal would need to affirm that because it affects his work too, right? Um,
Okay.
the way I see it after reading this is there's really no difference between what you're asking for and what the SLA is. So um, I think there's two ways to frame it, right? And it could be psychologically for yourself or for whatever. There's this idea of big, hairy, audacious goal, a BHAG. And a BHAG is actually pretty interesting because it's like instead of saying, let's do um, let's have lunch at a Warung. It's Mike saying, let's have lunch at the Ritz Carlton with champagne. Now, the idea is a little bit different. It's not like we're going to do that today. It's not like that's what we are expecting tomorrow. But it creates this. It creates like a vision to ask, is this even possible? Right? How would we even begin doing this? How would we get inside? How would we be able to afford it? What would this whole thing look? But it starts changing your perspective to start asking the big questions, right? Is there anything fundamentally incorrect about my structure? Is there anything fundamentally incorrect about my approach? That's why you set big, hairy, audacious goals, BHAGs. So the idea is also, how do you eat an elephant? Um, one piece at a time, right? Not the whole thing at once. So you do want to get to 50% because you're saying that, okay, you're progressing and stuff. So why not just say my goal is 50% because it's so outrageously crazy hard, but I will intend to hit my milestone 35% by a certain time, right? So what you're doing is you're not losing focus of your end goal, but you're giving yourself ways to like stepping like what we just talked about at the very beginning, right? How do you give yourself a way to hit that general trend, that long-term trend that you want, but also you know that within the local trends are going to be going up and down. You set milestones. You say that by this date I'd like to get to 35%. Okay, why is that better than downgrading and because when you downgrade a goal, you also downgrade your vision. So now you're saying, okay, all right, it's just going to be good enough at 35%, right? And then it's like what we talked about Glints and Bukit Vista with the BVE talk. When you downgrade the vision, then you don't really you don't really imagine like, oh, this big idea could really help drive the review rate up. It's those fundamental, I think, structural changes that will actually get you 50% reviews, right? It won't be necessarily incremental, small little changes. It'll be like you need to really think about communication strategy. You need to think about timing your audience in a radical way. To give yourself that goal keeps you on that track. Now, what's the difference? There probably won't be any difference, right? If you keep it at 50% and you give yourself a milestone when you reach 35%, then you're consistent with your original goal. If you change your goal now, right, and you exceed it, then you have to change your goal again, right, after you reach your first milestone. So then it becomes indecisive in a way, right? What do you really want to do? So better, I think, to say, okay, eventually I want to hit 50, but my first milestone is 35, and I want to give myself 2 3 months to hit that, right? And then you have a big goal, right, which is exciting, which is which is also actually important, Cynthia, because it attracts good people to your team, right? If you have a slight goal, oh, I just wanted to get a 1% better. That's like, okay, all right. Why would you be able to talk about that at a webinar? Why would anyone care to hear about that? But if you say that, hey, the industry standard is 30%, I'm going to get 50%, then yeah, that starts attracting really interested minds, right? They go, what's your plan? How would you get 50%? How would you use data science to get 50%? So when you set big goals, you start creating big, um, I think, talent that starts getting attracted to these goals. So don't ever shy away from big goals. Set big goals, work towards it, set milestones so you're not eating the entire elephant in one bite. Of course, that would never work. But say, hey, look, I'm going to eat the elephant, but I'm going to finish its leg in a month. I'm going to finish the other leg in another month. And I finish, so that you're making incremental progress, right?
Yes, thank you, sir, for the insight. I think I got it on different perspective right now.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so if I want to have a like further discussion and make it clarity to Mas Rizal, maybe for the client, so I just like poke him on the shoulder and then discuss with him without Andre as the bridge. No,
I think
like
this is your SLA, right? Ultimately, your lead has delegated this SLA to you. So yeah, I think you should probably let Andre know what you
mm,
do because he's in charge of sort of stitching the chapter together. But ultimately, if he's delegated this SLA to you, then it's like for campaigns, SLA people talk to other SLA people, right? It's kind of like um, yeah. You probably should talk to Andre too because it does have overlapping with probably some of his campaigns as well. Yeah.
okay, sir. Yes, I already talked to Andre, and actually Andre would help to talk with Mas Rizal. But I think they seem have not had a discussion yet, and I will try to remind Andre again on this. Okay. Thank you, sir. And then I think that's pretty much it for our discussion. And then we still have a 9 minute, like we haven't do this thing for a while. Would you please give feedback, I think, for today's sharing, the things that I could improve, the things that should be run as it is, and then maybe the things that I should remove when I
Okay. Why don't we have Nadine go first then? Yeah.
doing Nadine, would you please
Okay, thank
go
you, Kak
first?
Cynthia. Basically, what I saw is you pretty good conduct this Scrum with the new format, which is you are quick adapt to this new format. I don't think that I can maybe can conduct as you as today for the first time, and yeah, that's pretty good, Kak Cynthia. for the what else? Yeah, I think there is maybe kind your the way you talk, your style, it can be improved, Kak Cynthia. Maybe yeah. My feedback is like you kind of like talk really slow down because yeah, really slowly. So yeah, sometimes we actually I actually know what's the point that you want to talk, but you make it like spinning around the words. So I don't know. So, yeah. But yeah, that's all, Kak. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you, Nadine. Yeah, I think I do agree with that. Sometimes I feel like, oh, actually, I could just go straight A, but I'm going to B and C first, then pick to A. Okay, thank you, Nadine, for the feedback. And then, is there anything else you want to add? Okay, thank you, Nadine. And then to you, sir.
Okay, I got quite a lot of feedback actually for this, and this is good for I think you in chair, but it's also good for so let's say PR too as well. Nadine's right. I think your technical skill to go through the different steps is it's actually really good. That part I think is there's no problem in the how would I call it in the technical skill of chairing. It's more of the tone and the style and perhaps the spirit of the mission that where it gets a little bit more diluted. And this part I think is important. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Nadine's right again. You sometimes circle around something without really getting to sort of the point. That ultimately dilutes your meaning, it dilutes your focus. So it's much better just to say, this is what I want to say. Just leave it at that. And if people don't agree, let them debate you. Let them, let them approach. It's a lot less clear what you mean when you say, "Hey, look, I mean to say this, but I could also mean this, and I'm open to hear this." Um, so it creates a confusing tone, right? So try to bet on one thing instead of betting on three things all the time, and that ultimately I think will make you a more decisive and a more effective leader. So that's one. The second thing is, I think the idea of written communication should not be avoided. So, Andre has already put his written communication in what I think is very clear language onto the discussion board. Just the fact that he's not here doesn't mean we should not read, try to interpret, and understand what his meaning is. I think he made it clear, right? Um, and that is a culture I think we need to evolve towards, which is how can we have a stronger written communication culture such that we don't always need to be in a synchronous mode like we have now in order for us to exchange information. So in that particular case, I would have continued the discussion without Andre here. I would have listened to what Nadine has said. I would have taken the notes on it and then responded as if he were here, right? And then Andre can then respond to what we have seen. That I think is a far more that's a far more inspired delight approach anyway, rather than having to always have the original author be in the room. And then that gets back, I think, to the purpose and theme that I think when you're chairing, somehow in the back of your mind, the vision of the company should sort of be stirring, right? Am I inspiring delight? Am I am I actually allowing people to positively transform? Am I asking for hospitality innovation? And if you see that you're not essentially thematically choosing to process your decisions through the vision and mission of the company, it could be a time to ask why not, right? Um, let's say, all right, this person has an idea. Okay, is this idea able to positively transform people? Yes. Is it a hospitality innovation? Yes. Is it likely to inspire delight? yes, okay, so we should do it, right? Um, but if you process it and it goes, probably not, then we can say we probably shouldn't do it. So I think those are the three main aspects, right, of what I've noticed. So one, to summarize, is the ability to sort of keep the right tone and be decisive. Say this is what I mean, and not kind of vacillate too much. Two, to rely on written communication as a way of being a proxy for a person, and not a not like I like I need the person here along with their message. So I think reliance on written communication as a proxy, and then three, to always think about, does the way I conduct this discussion inspire delight? Do I motivate innovation to happen? And am I positively transforming people? So these are, of course, more advanced topics when it comes to chairing, and it's a little bit beyond where we had originally begun. But I think it's more crucial at this point, especially since there's a lot of new people here. So yeah, those are the areas I think we'll need to see more refinement. And I say that also in your particular case, Cynthia, it's more urgent because you're also doing PR. And so when you're doing PR, all three of those things start becoming very important. You don't say, I need the person who wrote this article to be in the same room as me. I don't understand what they wrote, right? Um, that wouldn't be good PR. You don't be like, I can't decide what topic I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about this, this, this. So you need to narrow down that topic. And of course, if you're speaking on the voice of the company, it needs to sound like the voice of the company, right? So, okay, but I know you can learn, and I know you pick up things fairly quickly. So that's my advice for you today.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's very delighted and then very open mind, and then also eye opening as well. Okay, so I think